You ever notice the longer you play a competitive game, the less creative everybody gets? I've been thinking about this playing UFC 6, because when the game first came out, everybody was trying shit. People were testing posture styles, trying different combinations, messing around with flow state. You'd fight somebody and genuinely have to figure out what the hell they were doing. But give competitive gamers enough time with any game, and eventually everybody starts fighting the same. And I don't even necessarily blame the players. Because gamers are gonna optimize the fun out of damn near anything if you give us enough time. Somebody finds a combination that works. They post it on YouTube. Somebody puts it on Reddit. Then another dude makes a video saying, "This is the most broken combination in UFC 6. You know how that shit goes. 3 days later, everybody you fight is throwing the same damn combination. And what makes it worse is, half these people don't even know why it works. They just know it works. That's the difference. You can tell when you're fighting somebody who understands striking and when you're fighting somebody who memorized a pattern. Because the minute you take that pattern away from them, they start malfunctioning. They'll hit you with the same setup 2 or 3 times, and once you adjust to it, now they're standing there like the game disconnected their controller. And I've seen this in damn near every competitive game I've ever played. I'm 44 years old. I've been gaming since Atari. We didn't call this shit a meta back then. If somebody found some cheap shit that worked, we just said, "Man, quit doing that bullshit." That was the terminology. There wasn't a 27-minute breakdown with charts and a thumbnail saying, "New meta just changed everything." Now, your cousin found a move you couldn't stop, did it 12 times, and eventually somebody got hit with the controller. Different era. But the mentality was still there. Players have always looked for the easiest path to winning. The difference now is information travels so fast that everybody finds the easiest path at the same time. That's what changes competitive games. UFC 6 has all these posture styles, different perks, different fighter builds, different ways you can approach a fight. But once the community decides what's best, a lot of that variety disappears. And that's the part I don't understand. Because I'm not saying you shouldn't use something effective. Hell, I'm trying to win too. I'm not loading up online career to provide somebody with a positive experience. But at some point, don't you want your fighter to feel like your fighter? That's why I mess with posture styles so much. I like finding little things that fit the way I play. Maybe the posture isn't considered the best one in the game. I don't give a damn. Does it work for me? Can I move the way I want to move? Can I get into a rhythm? Because once I get comfortable with something, now I'm not thinking about the controls anymore. I'm fighting. And I think that's when competitive games are at their best. When you start playing the game like you're following instructions and start developing your own tendencies. The problem is, developing your own style means you're probably gonna lose while you're figuring it out. And gamers hate losing. Oh, we say we don't care. That's bullshit. Everybody don't care until they lose 3 in a row. Now you're sitting forward. Hands it off. Room quiet. You ain't talking to nobody. Somebody in the party asks you a question. You give them a one-word answer. Now. You are locked the fuck in now. And that's when people run back to whatever the community says is strongest. Because losing makes you question everything. Maybe my posture is wrong. Maybe my build is wrong. Maybe my combinations are wrong. No, sometimes that motherfucker was just better than you. That's a hard sentence for gamers to accept. Sometimes there ain't a setting to change. There ain't a perk to equip. You just got your ass whooped. It happens. But I think the players who really get good at games like UFC 6 are the ones who can take that loss, figure out what happened, and still develop their own style. Because if all you know is the meta, you're dangerous until somebody solves the meta. If you actually know how to fight, you can adjust. And that's probably why I enjoy online career so much. You're building something. You're learning your fight. You start recognizing what works for you and what doesn't. And after enough fights, your fighter almost develops a personality. Not because the game gave him one. Because you did. Your habits are in that fighter. Your mistakes are in that fighter. That dumb spinning tick you keep throwing even though you've been knocked out 3 times doing it. That's part of the character now. Own that shit. So yeah, I understand why competitive gamers eventually stop fighting the same. Winning feels good. Nobody wants to spend 50 fights experimenting while everybody else is using something proven. But I also think that's how games start getting stale. When everybody watches the same guides, uses the same setups, and fights the same way, eventually you're not fighting different players anymore. You're fighting the same idea with a different gamma tag. And personally, I'd rather lose figuring out my own style than win every fight playing exactly like everybody else. Wow. Let me clarify that. I don't want to lose that damn much. But you get what I'm saying.